and we had a substitute teacher for band. We had band 4 period, and the story would just go flying around the school like you know, wildfire. Mr. Sable was absent, so it was a sub. And so one of our favorite things to do was on sub days, we would not play the right instrument. I would get a flute and sit in the front row, because every once in a while the substitute teacher would try to like rehearse a band, and then we would try to not laugh out loud, obviously, because it just, I couldn't play anything on the flute, and neither could the flute player play my trombone at all. So it was really a great way to entertain ourselves at 15 years old and 16 years old. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I get what you're doing, but let's not let it get too far away. Is that distracting to you, Grant?
I don't know about distracting.
Okay.
I guess with the personality kind of.
If it's not, I guess it's fine, but as soon as it becomes distracting, then it's an issue. And don't get me wrong, I just thought I'd share with you my immaturity at 15, 16 years old. That remains today. But I don't think anybody's trying to be funny. But be sure that if you come playing an instrument, you're studying in methods class right now or something like that, you can play it well enough that it's not distracting to your friends who are trying to conduct. Let's try it. Questions? Great.
For me? No. I know this way.
Comments? Just on the phone with a friend of mine who's director of bands at the University of Kentucky right now. I was driving in, literally just on the phone. He was telling me about, he went to France and did a conductor symposium this summer. This was really cool about conducting. You know, my friend is 50 years old, he's director of bands at the University of Kentucky, and he's still trying to go places and get scared and learn. And I thought that was a neat thing to share with you guys, to reinforce how we're all still, no matter how many years experience, trying to get better at this whole thing. So Cody went to France to this conducting symposium for a week. And the other thing I want to share with you guys is it was chamber music the whole week, and it was 9 players from the Philharmonic in town, 9 professional players. And they were the only comments. Usually you go to these conductor symposium, and the guest lecturer, the symposium guest artist will be Will Brocker. And then, you know, Southern Illinois University brings in Will Brocker, and for the week, you'll conduct a band, and Will does basically what we're doing. Will will talk to you and try this, try that, and look at your videotape, try that, and the ensemble's pretty silent. This thing, in France, there was no other, that was it. The 9 members of the Philharmonia were the clinicians. And the only feedback that the conductors got all week were just back and forth with those 9 professional players. There wasn't another conductor, quote unquote, kind of weighing in. So I thought that was interesting, and Cody had a great experience with it. He said it was just terrific. Like, they were really, really flexible. He said the 9 players, they were all kind of excited to do it and happy to have an opportunity to have a little repartee with conductors, because many times that's a frustration of professional players. They really don't feel like they get to go back and forth and share and discuss these kinds of things. What were you trying to do? What did I think you were trying to do? Is that the same thing? So both of those things I thought you guys might find kind of interesting. So I want to keep encouraging you to communicate and share. You guys are all, to one degree or another, teachers already. You have little private students, you teach youngsters, you teach in the junior high, you teach beginners, teach in the high school on a clinician. So you know, you're experiencing this already, that there's nothing quite as informative as trying to teach somebody how to do something. You know, whether it's just with our instrument or something else. I'm sure all of us in this room have had that experience where you're asking a 5th grader or a 6th grader to do something because it's a really good habit, and on the way home you kind of got to admit to yourself you stopped doing that about 10 years ago, so maybe your discipline should get back to where it's supposed to be. Maybe I could do this thing that I'm preaching to little kids, it's such a good idea, but I let myself off the hook a little while ago. And or just trying to figure out how to explain something. Really helps you focus your understanding on how to do it yourself. So A big part of this process is watching your colleagues and sharing. Grant, what was the shape you were going for? We spent some time with the arches, with Cassell's rainbows. Which one is yours?
Really just trying to find the climax right at the sports on mill. Really.
So is that's basically, well, let me not put words in your mouth. So what does that mean?
With the peak of the arc being right at the third beat of measure 6.
So there's an arc until then, or is there a straight line until then? Is there a straight line for 5 bars and an arc for 2 beats and then or, you know what I mean? There's a lot of,
I mean, right now, I think I'm just kind of going more of arc until then, even though there are
okay.
arcs in between.
You guys agree with that? Is that what you saw? Not sure? Brett?
I thought it felt pretty stagnant actually, besides you added a little bit of left hand on the splits on over the
You got your videotape, you can check it out for yourself. Thank you. Who's next? Stop texting me, Chris Betts. Judged again on Saturday. Chris Benson texted me because Normal Community's really good. You haven't seen Normal Community's marching band show yet. Really very good. They're doing Mackey Foundry. They're doing Whitaker, Luke's, or Rumke, which I never thought they'd be able to pull off at all, and it's very nice. They're doing a Charles Rochester Young piece called Tempered Steel. It shows about processes of metal, right? Foundry and light and gold is Luke's, or Rumke, and Tempered Steel. And I saw your band, PBL people. If only the drill designer had given the guard some room to do anything. But the guard's pretty good, Zach, so good for you. They got a good score, didn't they?
Yeah, they won.
There you go. See, I was, you can tip me anytime. Literally, swear to God, I stand right next to the guard judge. As they're coming on the field, I heard him announce your name. So I went, I think this guard is going to be really good. Swear to God. Just a little cheating, just for you. Just gave her a little bias right out of the chute.